The Rosie and Bill Show wish to thank our partners and Positivity primary sponsors.
The Roselli Agency, based in Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. Brian and his team of insurance professionals have been serving the needs of Chester County for more than 2 decades.
The Mallon Agency, located in Springfield, PA, where they take pride in tailoring the right insurance policy for the right client and exceeding expectations every time. Welcome everyone to the Rosie and Bill Show. Before we get started, just wanted to let you know that Rosie will not be with us tonight. She's dealing with a family medical situation right now. So our thoughts and prayers are with my partner, and she really wishes she could be here. But I'll say this, we got together this weekend and we worked on our questions and worked on show prep as we always do. And when you have a guest like the one we have on this week, the show must go on, and it will. And I'll do my best to make up for my partner not being here right now. But folks, as to our guest, he wowed the judges and millions of fans on America's Got Talent, on The Voice, and over the years, he's built a large and loyal following through hard work, perseverance, and an amazing God-given talent. Please welcome to the Rosie and Bill Show a man whose voice, I promise, once you hear it, you'll never forget it, Dave Fenley. Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bill, thank you for having me.
Oh,
is it the Bill Show? Do you have, I don't have it. Do you have theme music? Do you have like a Rosie and Bill Show or something like that goes on right now normally?
Well, it kind of fades out. It would have faded out by now, but yeah, we do have a theme music. We actually got it. We've been using one of those YouTube royalty-free songs, but yeah, that's not to say we can't change it, maybe update it or do something, but but
I mean, I'm just saying, at least this one episode, you should have like, it's the Bill Show. Just kind of delete the Rosie thing from. She probably wouldn't care.
No, she is definitely here in spirit, and it was so funny. She texted me a few minutes ago, Dave, before we went on, and she goes, "Please remember to tell Dave he is amazing." So I just did. I wanted to make sure that I told you that, and that everybody got to hear that.
Well, thanks, Rosie. I'm sorry you only get to listen back to this or watch this later, but definitely thoughts and prayers with your family.
Thank you. I know she'll appreciate it. And I will tell you, the first time that we actually saw you perform, we watched some of your videos and listened to you. We pretty much had the same reaction that Kelly Clarkson did when you auditioned on The Voice. So I'll leave it at that. And I'll come back to that. But for now, Dave, I like to kind of turn the clock back. And when you were younger, music was part of your life. And it was there as part of your life when you were young. But when did you develop a passion for music? When did you think to yourself, wow, this whole singing, this music thing, this is something I really like to do?
I mean, it happened early, but I was real nervous about kind of pursuing anything or letting anybody know. My father is a great singer. He sang in a gospel quartet, and it was always something I was raised singing, right? Didn't play instruments, but I finally showed, like in high school, I wanted to, get a guitar and learn how to play. So had a little high school band, showed a little interest there, but still I just didn't want to kind of let on that it was something I really was serious about, and was writing practice songs and, coming up with little literally writing on Post-it notes and stuff my mom has found. But I think that I really struggled with letting people know. Like, I was playing football, I was playing baseball, I was, kind of a jock in high school, not to look at me now, but I was back then, an athlete. And it was just one of those things where I was like, man, do I sacrifice all of that to, tell people that I really want to sing? So I kind of kept it inside for a long time, and it wasn't probably till late, like right after high school or college, that I was like, okay, this is something that starts to matter to me a lot. And then after I went through 2 or 3 years of college, it got to the point where I had to tell my parents that I'd been not going to class because I was, moonlighting at little bars and singing little shows here and there, like with the 5 songs I knew how to play on guitar. So they didn't care for that. But that's kind of where it all started, as far as when I started being honest with myself about it.
No, and I think that's, as you were saying that, I kind of remember looking back to when I was in high school and when I was in college, and the two things that I wanted to do, one was be a singer, the other was be a sportscaster. When you talk about this, you don't exactly get a lot of support, at least not back then, for wanting to do those kinds of things. So I commend you for really kind of sticking with that passion. And you mentioned high school and doing all those things, and your family moved from Texas, from Lufkin, Texas, to Canada when you were in high school. Was that a difficult transition, and did that impact you in any way musically at all during your development in those years?
I think so. I mean, it was a really liberating experience because I'm going from Texas to Canada. I mean, at a 15-year-old, I got a chance to really reinvent my story if I chose to. And in Texas, I was in a small community, a football town. I wasn't the best or the fastest at anything. I wasn't. I was just kind of right in the middle of the road. I was a real quiet, skinny kid, And then I got to Canada, and I got to kind of reevaluate how I wanted to be known. So it was in the gym every day, and it was working really hard and becoming the most assertive football player, and playing rugby and baseball, and just doing everything that I'd grown up doing, but I didn't do it at a high level. And so really trying to focus on becoming not the person in the middle anymore, but the person who was trying to be, on top of whatever it was that I was doing. That became kind of my focus, and it was really fun to travel that path, especially for the girls, at the time, and then and just to have that kind of, I guess a presence around campus that I'd never had before. It was something. It was a confidence builder for sure.
No, absolutely. It definitely is. And I think it's even more so when it's something that you love doing. There's just something about being able to focus on something that you love doing. And so you made that, transition from high school to college. You were, as you said, you were moonlighting, you were playing your music, and you went on. And I remember when you auditioned on America's Got Talent, and Howie Mandel was blown away and asked you how long you had been doing this. And he couldn't believe that it had been, I think it was about 10 years. So you had taken that time and played. So what led to you going from what you were doing during those years to taking that shot on AGT?
I guess to really go back to when it all kind of starts clicking is when you realize that it's not a choice. Like, music isn't something that anybody chooses. It's the hardest path with the least amount of success guaranteed. It's such a competitive, in any town, any city, anywhere in the world. I mean, shoot, you have every kind of access to every kind of music anywhere on Apple, Spotify, whatever you want to call it. So just in the grand scheme of how many people there are trying to compete for that 1 or 2 spots, which is everybody's attention, it's the worst possible gig to do. But so it's not something you choose. I was just kind of had to. And then when it got to the point in, like, I think 2013 or 2012, late 2012, when I first started putting things on YouTube or going on Facebook, I joined, those kind of things, MySpace or whatever. And and I've finally started putting music out there on that kind of format. And it was shortly after that, that AGT reached out and asked if I would be interested in doing something with them. So I had never done anything like that before. Although I had auditioned for The Voice back in The Voice season 2, and it wasn't a great experience. That was like 2011, I think. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. But they keep calling, so I keep answering the call. I think somewhere around that time is when I committed to myself to be more of a yes man when it came to music. So if opportunity presented itself, what else have I got to do? I didn't get in this to be still. So let's work.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Dave, one of the things that that blew me away is in your audition on The Voice. So it would have been the second one, I guess, then that we're talking about, was when Kelly Clarkson turned around. And, I know there's a lot of things, on some of those shows that maybe are rehearsed or whatever it was, but she was legitimately blown away. And I'm wondering, with those experiences on those two shows, because you did have a nice run on both shows.
Sure.
What did you take away from those experiences? What did you learn, or how did they help in your development?
Hands down, how much fun music is. When you get to watch through, you meet all these different people, like especially on AGT, which wasn't my favorite experience as a whole, because I didn't like the negativity of the show itself, if I could say that. Like, it was very much of who messed up or who should go home. They talk, crap about this other guy. And that's not me at all. The Voice gave me a bigger platform to be like, you write your own story. You want to be positive, Dave? It may not sell on TV, but you can be positive, Dave. And I was like, that's what I am. So I'm just going to be that. Okay. And so, but the main thing I learned, and the biggest takeaway, was all the different other people and relationships that I met and made. That's what music's all about, is camaraderie and creativity and being able to celebrate with other people, and learning about different genres. Like, I thought I was pretty eclectic as it was, but when you go on those kind of shows, you really hear every kind of voice and every kind of music and every kind of different background. You hear everybody's different influences in whatever made them who they are as an artist, because I'm fairly genre free, I like to think, and I'll pull from country and R&B and hip hop and bluegrass. I mean, I like to pull from all those things, and I feel like that's what makes up my sound or my approach at songwriting. And nobody just comes from one style of music. So when you're meeting all these people on these shows, you get to hear a little bit, like every single person is a different mix of all their upbringing, and it's a beautiful thing.
I totally agree. And Dave, that's one thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's set on your website. You mentioned genre free, and it talks about on your website is genre free philosophy, which I think is phenomenal, because like you said, we all listen to different types of music. And the one thing that I really love about what you do, and for anyone who's seen your YouTube videos, and anyone who goes on YouTube is going to see that there are millions of people that have watched many of your videos. You take each of those songs, if it happens to be someone that, if it's a cover, but you make it your own. And one of the things I'm wondering is, have you ever heard from anyone whose song you've covered? Because you just take the songs to places that I can't help but think that the artist may not have even thought they could go there. And it's just, you can't stop listening.
Actually, yes, a couple of times. I mean, probably not the ones that I was most known for. But I think, to be fair, my mom is probably responsible for 24 of the 26 million views on most of my videos. But Sean Stockman from Boyz II Men reached out when I did End of the Road, which was just a huge, one of my most, favorite groups of all time, favorite groups of vocalists for sure. Like, they were just four incredible artists, singers. And then I don't know what made me think I could try to tackle four voices at once. And I didn't do really a great job in my mind. Some people have really liked it, but Sean reached out and said, thanks for taking good care of our song. And so to me, that was about the best compliment I could receive for something like that, just because it wasn't a nice try, kid. It wasn't a, hey man, you knocked this out of the park. It was just, thanks for respecting what we wrote. And I think if someone was to cover my work or do something that I'd written as a cover, then I think that would be something, if I said that to somebody, it would mean a lot, because at the end of the day, it's really honoring. I'm trying to respect and honor someone's work by, doing a cover. I don't want this next generation who's inundated with so many different types of music. I don't want some of the great songs to get forgotten. So I feel like if I have a voice, if I have an audience, that's my duty to make sure that those songs that maybe they haven't heard get a chance to be heard.
Yeah, and one of the things I'm wondering about with those songs is there a particular process, or how do you go about picking a cover that you're going to do, because from Turn the Page to Stuck on You to, as you said, Boys to Men. If anyone who goes through your YouTube channel, you're going to see this amazing mix of songs all done as you, which again is just amazing. But is there anything that goes into picking a particular song? Is it something personal, like, hey, I really love this song, I want to see what I can do with it? Or how does that work for you?
100%. It certainly, I mean, it starts with loving a song, but not always just for the same reasons as I don't know. I don't know why everybody likes whatever. I mean, I know what gets me about a song is usually the lyric, the intention, the melody, the integrity of the song. Like, I try to say serve the song is my process. But I think the thing that I love the most about picking songs is being able to find a place where I can deliver it with honesty and find something where people can hear me and believe it. Even though they're used to hearing someone else sing it, they can still listen to my version and go, he's not just singing it, it's something, it matters. And because I think the lyric is the most important part of any song. As a person who writes songs, I really love that process of creating. And so I think respecting the lyric and making sure that I mean, and this is a strange example maybe, but I Will Always Love You. I mean, obviously one of the most iconic songs of all time. I had never, ever wanted to do that song, ever. My wife, who's listening downstairs, probably was like, you should do a version of that song. And I fought her tooth and nail. And I was like, well, okay, let me just sit down and see if I can adapt a version that I think people would even be listenable, that would even be listenable. And so as I got into the song, I realized that I was listening to Dolly Parton's version and I was listening to Whitney Houston's version, and they're just both so unique. Mm-hmm. And Dolly's was so personal because it was written like for Porter Wagner. And so that was just, it was perfect as it was done. And then Whitney's version, which was obviously one of the biggest songs of all time, was so interpreted in such a different way. It was such a vocalist song. It was about these moments, vocal moments, where people actually were using this song at weddings. And I was like, this is a breakup song. And so that really helped me land, hey, this song is being misunderstood, because you wouldn't use this song at a wedding if you really listened to the lyrics. So let me bring it back home and try it from a guy's perspective and see if maybe people will be like, oh man, I've been loving this song for all the wrong reasons. And so that's kind of how I approach it, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And I'll tell you, having seen the video, and as I was scrolling through, and I was like, wait a minute, he covered this? I had to watch. And as you're telling the story, now it makes sense. I totally get it, having seen it not that long ago. And one of the things another one, in fact, it's your current single that's out, To Make You Feel My Love, that's been covered by quite a few people over the years, but no one's covered it the way you have. So what inspired you to record that one? Because again, it is uniquely you and just absolutely terrific. The video is amazing.
Best way to say it, one of the guys who did it best, Garth Brooks, he pulled his versions from everywhere. Like, you can't find it except through his own channels. So I feel like it was an opportunity for someone to take another male perspective on that song. I wouldn't have done it probably had his version been available readily for everyone. But it was originally a Bob Dylan song, and Bob Dylan isn't for everyone's ears. But what a songsmith, like when it comes to writing integrity, he's the king. And then Adele, she did a version that was so good. But I often find times when there's a song that's so identified as a female version, as soon as they hear a guy version, you have to listen to it once to see if you're going to hate it. And then if you like it, then it becomes something you share. So it was one of those things where when Garth made the decision to pull his music from all these platforms, it really opened up an opportunity for me to try to be that male voice to give a counter point to the Adele fans.
You definitely pulled it off, Dave. And again, for folks who haven't seen it, you got to check out the video, download the song. It really is terrific. But I'm even more excited about your next single that's going to be coming out. I believe it's on April 21st. And this is a song that you've written, and it was inspired by two very special ladies in your life. So can you tell us about it?
Yeah, this a song called "Till You," and it's for my wife and daughter. I've got a 15-month-old little baby girl named Annie. It was the easiest song I probably ever wrote. I would say, like, I was sitting with a friend of mine, a new guy named Greg Becker. It was our first time writing, actually, but he's become a good friend. And this might have been a month ago. Like, it's all happening really fast. But we sat down in a writing room one day, and I just had an idea. I was like, "Till you walked in the room, I never saw an angel up close. For my heart didn't know is about to start falling." And I was like, man, I want to write a song about my wife and daughter. So that's kind of where it started. And Greg, quickly realized that it was not going to be a day for him to contribute much. So he's like, "I'm just going to be kind of a therapist and make sure you don't mess it up." So I just kept throwing out lines and groove and feel, and he helped me develop melody choices and music choices. But the lyrics, he was just like, just make sure I stayed in the lines. And before, less than 2 hours later, we had "Till You" as it, and then maybe a week later, I was in the studio recording it and putting a whole album together because of that song. So to say I'm proud of it would be an understatement, because it's very personal. Normally I would be against any artist being like, here's a song that's got, it's got your baby's name in it. It's got, there's no way this song is going to be singable for other people, but I don't care. It's my gift to them and to people who want to listen to it, but it means a lot, and it's honest. And I think people crave honest music.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned, Dave, an album. So will the album have other songs that you've written as well? Will these be originals?
Yeah, I think I'm doing it's just a 5-song EP. I had the Spread Love Sessions Volume 1 that came out in 2018. So it's been a while, but I've been working on, I've been on TV shows, I've been on tours, and I've been busy. And when COVID happened, I've just been writing. And I've been fortunate to have some other songs recorded by other artists. So anyway, this is the Volume 2 that's coming out. And again, it's 4 songs that I wrote and 1 song that I didn't, but it's a friend of mine wrote it named Brian Sutherland. And it's just an incredible song called "Paper Airplanes."
Definitely looking forward to that, Dave. Now, I have one last question for you, because I just have so much respect, not only for your talent, but for the dedication, the determination, the years of hard work that you've put into your craft. And I just have nothing but respect for that. And
thank you.
One of the things I'm wondering is, what ultimately would success look like for you?
It kind of feels like it's already happening, if that makes any sense. Like, you know what? Easiest answer: not having to play bars. That's success to me. And I'm there. I play small theaters and I play big theaters and I perform for, private events. But the fact that I don't have to I'm not competing with the 200 drunks to see if I can be louder than them, and I don't have a bunch of people yelling out "Freebird" every single day. If there's anything that will be my measuring stick for success, that's step 1. From this point on, everything's just icing on the cake. Like, I've got my wife and I've got my child and I've got my Lord Jesus Christ, and everybody is in my corner these days. It seems like everything is happening for a reason, and I'm extremely, extremely blessed and humbly grateful for everything that I've been given, earned, and achieved. So I appreciate you taking the time to ask that kind of question. And I wish I had a more illustrious answer, but I feel like I'm right it.
You know what, Dave? Here's the thing. I will say this: your answer, just like your music and just like your approach, is real and is genuine. And that's really all we can ask for. And I know if my partner in crime was here, she would say the same thing. And I also know that she would say that everything does happen for a reason, as you just said. And we have no doubt that with Volume 2 coming out, Volume 3, you're hitting the stage in Canada. You've got more tour dates coming up. I think your time is coming, and it's well earned. And we really wish you all the best. And want to thank you for taking the time to join us, because from the first time we heard that voice, we literally said, we have got to get Dave on the show. So thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you. Hey, if you can, if I end up heading, stop and think, if I find my way up into Philly, hopefully you can help me get some people out to the show.
Oh, we definitely will. And here's the cool thing. We won't have to work that hard. Because we got a lot of great venues around here. I'm actually going to start doing some homework as soon as we're done.
Awesome.
On that. And I think a couple of them should have your name on the marquee outside. So we'll get to work on that, Dave. But again, we thank you so much. And we're going to end this episode to give everybody just a small taste of the talent and the voice that you have. So we wish you all the best. Folks, thank you so much for watching. My partner, she'll be back next week, and we're going to close the show with Dave Fenley.
When the rain is blowing in your face, and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there's no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. And I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. And I've known it from the moment that we met. There's no doubt in my mind where you belong. And I go hungry, I go black and blue, I go crawling down the avenue. Well, there's nothing that I would do to make you feel my love. The storm is raging on that rolling sea, and on the highway of regret, the winds of change are blowing wild and free, but you ain't seen nothing like me yet. I can make you happy, make your dreams come true. Oh, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. I go to the ends of the earth for you to make